much more complex and much more, intellectually stimulating. I mean,
if a God existed, it would have to be probably something pretty difficult to understand, I would imagine.
right.
One thing I'd like to ask Wayne though is, would you, if it turned out to be the case that there is some material being that exists outside of this universe, but maybe in some other universe that created this universe, like maybe some kind of extraterrestrial, some extra-dimensional, technologically advanced alien, would you accept that as being the God that you believe in?
So basically, if God existed, would I believe in God? Yes.
Well, would you agree that that would fit the definition of the God that you believe in?
That's what I've been saying this whole discussion.
Okay. Well, if you believe that an extra-dimensional extraterrestrial with advanced technology created this universe and that is God, I would say that is at least a coherent definition of a God, a more coherent definition than a definition that, say, William Lane Craig would use.
Yeah, but wouldn't
Sure,
that
we
negate
could
the
go
need
with
for
that.
Christianity, though? Because he's Christian. So if what was the case, it kind of, I think, would kind of negate the whole Christian narrative.
But I mean, that's what I've been saying. I've been saying God is hyperdimensional. Like I said in this conversation, I said God is hyperdimensional, meaning God exists in some other dimension. What else did I say? I said I don't think God is spaceless or immaterial or anything like that. But I do think he might exist on like a different timeline. So I mean, what you just said is basically what I just said minutes ago.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go with that, I guess. You okay with that, TMM?
I'm not. I don't get it, Wayne.
I think that's a coherent definition, and the only question then, if that's what you mean by God, is there sufficient evidence to convince me? And at that point, I would still say no.
Yeah, I think where the follow-up question would be, Wayne, if you didn't have any biblical reference, if you had no Bible or any kind of theological text to go from, what would it be that you had to look at where you would end up going, this is the position I would end up discovering?
That's a very good question. So if I didn't have the Bible,
questions. I know.
Yeah. If I didn't have the Bible I had today, there's still early church father writings, or early church father
no theological scripture, no early church writings. If you today had no reference from which to draw from, no historical, nothing, it's all a posteriori. You just your own senses. You're out there and you say, I want to draw a conclusion of the explanation of what's going on in the universe. How would you ever get to God?
Because think about it, Wayne. Without the text itself, the Bible, you wouldn't have the early church fathers writing about anything, because they all derived their positions from that text. So say you take that away, what do you have now?
Yeah, if you didn't hear that, you probably wouldn't know. The only way you would know it is if this guy somehow interacted with you.
I agree with you there. I agree with you.
Yeah,
welcome to atheism, Wayne. We're going to put you. We're welcoming you with the open arms. I think that's a good.
Yeah, you just bypassed agnosticism altogether, and you just went straight to atheism.
That's a good. See, look, we're wrapping on a good note. Wayne, congratulations, Wayne.
Yeah, man. See what you did, TMM. Poor Wayne.
Good.
Damn,
look, you'll get your card in the mail, and we will have our first baby eating with you. How does next Saturday work?
I'm free.
Barbecue baby cheeks.
I mean, free. See, he's not even resisting anymore. Look at that.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good note to probably start bringing it to the close. But we do have some super chats from yesterday, and we didn't get a chance to read them, so we're going to be reading them today. TMN, though, you want to kind of close this up for this? And I am giving you some partial credit because, Wayne is one of those people that will change his position with given more information. He's not one of those people that's closed-minded. He's one of the most open-minded theists that I've ever met, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to debate him years ago. He's a really good friend and a great guy and highly intelligent. And the fact that he comes on, he's able to even, put forth his positions. I think it's great, because, we started off this show tonight with, unfortunately, somebody who wrote to us and said, we bash on Christians. And obviously, clearly we have Wayne as a friend, and it's not the case.
But when you guys do,
Yeah,
it's
it
funny.
was a good discussion.
You heard me, Steve?
What's that, Wayne?
When you guys do bash on Christians, it's funny. Because I'm saying it because I'm
See,
I'm
you are
joking.
so
I'm joking.
atheist. You are so atheist. Get out of here, Wayne. You're here about that convoluted mess and talk about. I like watching Christians get bashed on. You are an
I'm
atheist.
so telling General Han Solo on you, man.
The roast of Kent Hovind was funny. It was funny.
It was hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not a big Kent Hovind fan.
No,
we're
not
gonna
really.
we're gonna let both of these gentlemen have any kind of closing thoughts that they want to plug, say whatever they need to about the discussion, and then plug their channels, where you can find them, all that stuff, and then if you guys want, you can hang around. I'm gonna look at these super chats, see if there's any that pertain to this discussion, but we've got a bunch from yesterday that we're gonna read as well. So it's going to be up to you guys if you want to hang out in the call, and maybe we'll talk about some things that are said, or if you guys want to jet, that's cool too. But we've got to do those super chats from yesterday as well. So Wayne, let's start with you, and we'll let you any last minute thoughts, and then let people know where they can find you if they want to follow up.
All right, cool. So I mean, as far as in this discussion, and guys, don't worry, this happens all the time. You should have seen Thanksgiving at my house. A lot of my family is more like fundamentalists, and they're like, "What? What are you talking about? This is too complicated. Why can't you just believe the Bible for what it says?" And I'm like, "I do." So that's a whole nother song and dance. But when you talk about the existence of God, and it's reasonable to believe in Him and all that stuff, I think people should understand that science and theology are completely two different things. You can accept all of the science, and you can still believe in God for theological reasons or philosophical reasons. And I hope I put forth some good arguments tonight. And also on that note, on a second note, when it comes to actually dealing with these questions, like I said before, as complex and as intricate as the universe is, how much more should the God question be even more intricate and that much more complex? So with that type of question, it's not going to be a simple answer. It's not going to be something that you find overnight, but as you keep on studying and as you keep on researching, you'll bear the fruits of your labor, and then maybe you will be as educated as some Bible scholar or people out there. So it definitely is an intellectual pursuit, and I think that's why atheists should pursue it even more.
Okay, where can they find you? Where can people find you?
People can find me at Science Enthusiast. That's my YouTube channel. So just type in Science Enthusiast on my YouTube search. And send me emails and stuff.
I'll link that in the description as well. So if you're watching this later on, you can click down below, and his link will be there. And TMM, your link is already down there below. So guys, if you're watching this now, make sure that you check out his channel. It's fantastic. And all those that are watching this in the future, it will be down below as well. So TMM, any last minute thoughts, and where can people find you?
Yeah, I mean, if you just do a channel search for TMM, you'll find me. Last minute thoughts, good discussion. I had fun. That's really all I got to say.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting. Wayne, I'm sorry. It must be it must really be an intellectual pursuit, because it just went right over my head, man. But like I said, I love you to death. Thank you for coming on. TMM, it was a pleasure. And actually, there is a question from the super chat, one of the super chats for tonight, that was directed at TMM. And 0132 says, "Thank you for the super chat. Can a naturalist be a theist? If I don't understand what it means for something supernatural to exist, am I an atheist?"
I think by most definitions of theism and naturalism, yes. However, there is a guy named Johannes Ratz, I don't know if you're familiar with him, who claims to be both a theist and a naturalist. So I guess he believes that God is a kind of natural phenomenon. Actually, I think Wayne's definition of a God could be a natural phenomenon. So I think you can be a naturalist and a theist.
I always tell people I'm a theistic naturalist.
Yeah, I think it's bogus myself. I don't think you can be a theist naturalist. I think that's an oxymoron myself. There's something called natural theism, but that's not the same thing. I think all it does is somebody saying, if God exists, he's part of the natural world, ergo he's natural. And I don't think I think that's kind of BS way of doing it.
All right,
Or
and
how about
here's a question. Maybe T. Go ahead, Wayne.
no, I was gonna say if I would say God does exist, but He uses natural means to do miracles.
Okay. Here's a question. I'm not sure who it's posed to, but maybe one of you can jump in if you feel the urge. Andrew Botelli. Is that supposed to be Andre Botella? I don't know. Some of these names. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'm so sorry, but maybe I'm missing something. But why does there have to be an original nothing from which something would appear? Can't you have an eternal something?
I don't think there's any logical problem with an eternal something, but it looks as though the universe is finite in the past. Some people have a problem with the idea of an infinite regress, but as Bertrand Russell says, there's no logical problem with a series with no first term.
Okay. Anything you want to follow up on, Wayne?
No, not really. Just give me my atheist card.
Oh,
there you go.
Oh, wow.
And I agree
Did you
with
hear that, guys?
TMM.
All right, guys. That's all for the ones that are.
Yeah, someone in the chat said to buy Wayne a fedora for Christmas.
There you go. That'd be a good present.
That's all the ones that were the ones that has specific questions. So it's up to you guys if you want to hang around. But we were going to start going through some of these super chats. Now let me get situated here. Just to finish out the ones from here. 0132 says Steve does not believe a mind can exist without a brain. And I'm gonna read the ones from last night in Rael's voice. I'm just I'm doing these are kind of serious, so I'm reading them in my regular voice now. But Steve doesn't believe a mind can exist without a brain, and Steve wants to find God as a sapient agent that could prescriptively define natural law. So Steve doesn't believe in gods and is an atheist. Boom, got you, Steve. Well, that is absolutely true. Someday Steve will. Someday Steve will.
Any way, shape, or form, zero.
Steve,
that
if you're agnostic,
atheism,
you're an atheist.
Nice. That's a good isolated sound clip. Can we play that again, David, just for effect?
Steve, if you're agnostic, you're an atheist.
And that voice too, man. That's a double
I know it's the
right
voice.
there.
I gotta admit, I like hearing it because I like his voice. But zero, that doesn't follow. You know better.
Someday Steve will admit colloquially atheism is a synonym for non-theism, but today is not that day. I agree with you, Zero. I think you're dead on there.
Haven't for
thanks
5
for all the
years.
great shows. From Darren Holmes, thanks for all the great shows. The Golden Nuns was fantastic. The Oscars can learn from you. It was beautiful. Thank you very much, Darren. Appreciate that. And okay, for $2 from Isa Lycan, ContraPoints was the best. I do enjoy ContraPoints. All right. 0132 Seeing Steve is well enough. Seeing Steve rough is enough. And congrats on being the Pope of the fence, Steve. Cajun Crustacean. I love Reds. All homo. I agree. NANA says, love Reds. No homo. No offense, Kyle. You are cool too. Thank you. Vandy. Vandy. You're a mess, Vandy. I take back all of my previous hair comments. Aaron Ra has the most majestic hair of them all. I agree.
His hair was fleek. Yeah, he was on fleek yesterday.
Andre says, come on, the best hair award goes to Lord Rael, which would be me, because I'm speaking like Lord Rael does. Uncle Ned, should I keep my Saturn V Lego model up or replace it with the... What the hell? The Technic Mach Anthem truck set. I don't even... Do you know what that means, Steve?
Technic Mach Anthem truck set.
Is Uncle Ned asking us which models he should display?
Could possibly be.
He's asking
I'd
for
go with the Saturn
advice.
5. Yeah, go with the Saturn
definitely.
5. Because I think the Technic Mach Anthem is some kind of like Lego truck set or something. I would have a Saturn 5.
And Mr. Atheist says, I'm sorry for ever challenging you, Kyle, for having the best hair. You clearly do, and no one can compete. I thank you, Mr. Atheist.
And you lied your ass off. Let me do this for you, Jimmy, because I told you yesterday that I